Fior Hassan Nahum has been joining us, the Deputy Mayor of Jerusalem. Boaz Bismuth is Israel MP in Tel Aviv. I appreciate both of you joining me on the show tonight. I want to turn to you, Fior Hassan Nahum. You may have heard my Palestinian guest saying what's happening is a war crime. She wants an immediate ceasefire. How do you respond to the growing concern that more and more civilians are dying every day in the Gaza Strip after the Israeli bombings?
Well, first of all, I have to say that the context of how this lady is speaking, obviously anybody who can open a history book can call her out on her complete lies that she's been saying and trying to convince your viewers. Israel believes in the self-determination of the Palestinian people, and because it does, we in 2001 gave the Palestinian Authority run by Fatah. Ramallah is a wonderful place. You should go and visit sometime. It's a capital really for the Palestinian Authority, with beautiful castles and houses and cafes and shopping malls and restaurants. And the Palestinian Authority,
where alleged atrocities have also been committed by Israeli settlers, ma'am. Let's focus on what's been happening in the last 26 days in terms of the bombings. Do you condemn, just as I've been asking Palestinians to condemn the Hamas attacks, do you condemn the bombings of innocent civilians?
No, excuse me. I'm giving the same context and trying to retort on the lies that she gave you. We left 2001 an autonomous territory for the Palestinians in around Judea and Samaria, Area A and Area B. In 2005, we did the same thing in the Gaza Strip. So when she talks about a refugee camp, the first thing you should be asking her is, why is there a refugee camp in a territory that has not been in occupation for almost 20 years? That's the first question. The second question you should be asking her is, if we all know there's an complete underground system of terror, why aren't the cowardly terrorists coming out on top and protecting their people to go underground? That's what any normal leaders would do. So what we have here, as you know, is a genocidal government that don't care about their own people, are quite happy when their own people die, because they were the ones preventing them from evacuating to the south when the Israeli army asked them to move from the north to the south. That's what you have. You have a terrorist regime that has in their charter that they want to kill not just all Israeli Jews, but they want to kill all the Jews around the world. And so how this lady can argue anything else
I'll just come back. I'll come back to you in a moment.
PR of lies.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a moment.
In an attempt to paint themselves out as the victims, the Palestinians have had so many chances. And in fact, her own people in Ramallah were brutally kicked out of the Gaza Strip. The Fatah leadership was brutally kicked out and killed in the Gaza Strip in 2007, but of course they must have very
Fior Hassan Nahum, let me go back to Boaz Bismuth, who's joining me also, Israel MP. Mr. Bismuth, you may have also heard our Palestinian guest saying it's time for a ceasefire. Is this now a collective punishment of Palestinians? How do you respond when Palestinians are telling me that this is a collective punishment of our people? This is not Israel taking on Hamas. This is Israel now punishing the Palestinians for allowing a group like Hamas to exist.
My answer is clear. It is time. It is time to destroy Hamas. It is time to destroy a terrorist group that is fragilizing the Middle East, but not only the Middle East. 3 weeks ago, not 10 years ago, not 50 years ago, 3 weeks ago, kids were slaughtered, burned. Women were raped. 1,400 people in their homes, being slaughtered, like Holocaust, the same thing. Now I heard the lady that you gave her 20 minutes. I don't even know how much the interview took.
10 minutes.
But this was pure propaganda. This is a disgrace. During Second World War, these people are collaborating with Nazis, and I'll tell you why. She says she's a mother. If she's a mother, she has no heart for her children, because babies here were killed and massacred. Now she's a woman. What does she think of women being raped? I'll come for 10 minutes. You need to have 1 minute, 1 second. You know what? Leave a minute. A minute is too long.
But sir,
1 second to condemn.
Mr. Bismuth, I'm not getting a clear audio. I'm trying to improve the audio quality of what you're saying, but you're making important points. You're saying if she's a mother, the Palestinian mother should also worry about Israeli children who are killed. But, you know, Ms. Nahum there, as a deputy mayor of Jerusalem, you're presumably a mother as well. There are today Gazan children who are also dying, Fior Hassan Nahum. It's not as if this is not some scorecard that you need to keep between how many Israeli children died in that terrible attack of October 7. But now what's happening is, again, children and women are dying. You need to show empathy for both.
Absolutely. I am a mother of 4, and I'm also friendly with mothers who have children who are currently hostages by Hamas. They don't know anything about their children. I know a mother with a 5-month-old baby in the Gaza Strip, and she doesn't know what's happening with her baby. Imagine the agony those parents are going through. But let me tell you the difference. The difference is that we are fighting a war that we didn't start, and we don't want civilian casualties. We don't aim to hit civilians. In fact, we warn them to get out of harm's way when we can. And they came in only to kill civilians. They're cowards. They didn't come to fight our soldiers.
No, but are you justifying the bombing, ma'am, of refugee camps?
They went to houses and they burned children alive.
Are you justifying the bombing of refugee camps, ma'am?
They decapitated children. We found a baby in an oven.
It's terrible. It's horrific. Does that justify the bombing of a refugee camp where there are also innocent children?
Why are there refugee camps? Why are there refugee camps? Can you answer me that question?
Because
they have their own autonomous territory. Why do refugee camps exist when you're living in your own place?
They claim to be escaping Israeli bombing.
Are we supposed to be responsible for their bad governance? Are we supposed to be responsible for their ties with Iran, for their terrorist ties? Are we also responsible for the fact they've not developed an economy for their people and they've used all the foreign aid to build armaments? Are we supposed to be responsible for that? Enough giving Hamas a free card to abuse their own people and aid them in blaming Israel. Enough.
Okay, I want to come to Boaz Bismuth again. Mr. Bismuth, you said that if she was a mother, the Palestinian woman was a mother, she would be concerned about the manner in which Israelis were brutally killed on the 7th of October. Now Palestinians are turning around and saying, look at the women and children in these refugee camps who are being killed. There seems to be a dehumanization taking place on both sides.
No, please. No parallel. Please, you're not allowed, and I will not allow you to make a parallel between what they have done and what we have done, or what we are doing. Because first of all, if I wouldn't care about their lives, I would send my planes, I wouldn't send my soldiers. B, I tell civilians, get out of this building because I'm going to attack this building. C, all terrorists are going under hospitals because they know I will not attack an hospital, although they're lies. Now you interviewed the person that mentioned when you spoke about the hostages. What did she say? She said, also in Israel, they've got thousands of people in their jails. Yes, we have terrorists. We keep terrorists. What do they have? 6 months babies. So you can see by your answer who you interviewed for 10 minutes. This is pure propaganda.
If the hostages were released, should there be a ceasefire, Mr. Bismuth? Assume that the hostages are released come tomorrow. Should there then be a ceasefire?
Sir, I live in Israel. My kids live in Israel. Israel was built in order to be a secure place for the Jews. Not only that, this is our land. This is our promised land. We are back in our land, and some were born here, of course, 3rd, 4th, 5th generation. Yet, when I see anti-Semitism all around the world, I say, thank God I have a country. Now, my duty, my morale, if you ask me about morality, big words, morality is to protect my children. Morality is to protect my people. And therefore, I am entitled to finish terrorism. Now, you, in your country,
do the Palestinians have a morality, Mr. Bismuth? Do Palestinians' children have the same rights as Israeli children have?
But I have nothing against children. What, did you see my soldier going and slaughtering Palestinian children? What are you talking about? Yet, in 2006, when they had elections, knowing that Hamas is a terrorist group, knowing that Hamas wants to eliminate me as a nation, knowing that Hamas wants to renew this Islamic jihad, whatever, 70% of Gaza people voted for them. And although they did that, I'm not attacking civilians. I have nothing against civilians. I have nothing against Palestinians. But I have everything against terrorism.